Michael Bruntz, Brian Christopherson, Husker247 Daily in person.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Look at us. No computers. So we just got done with Nebraska basketball. It's kind of first look, I guess. Practice opens this week, even though they've been working all summer. Let's just start quick takeaways from the three-man weave that you saw.
That was unbelievable.
Are we booking NCAA tournament?
I don't know. They only got 20.
Flights now.
They only got 28 layups in the. How many minutes was it? Maybe they needed 30 to be a tourney team. I don't know. We didn't see much, but you do get to see some guys like body type and how they're moving. It was good to see Rink after that year plus rehab and just him out there with the guys, and he's looking good. I think he's on the right track. My eye is drawn to some of the younger guys because they're new to us, but. Braden Frager, obviously a redshirt freshman. He's going to be in the rotation, I think, and he's really built himself up over the last year behind the scenes, and he looks confident with the stroke, and he's going to have to be a big hustle guy for this team too, so he's going to be important. And then, I don't know if he's going to play a redshirt or what, but Leo Curtis, he's actually thicker than I thought.
Yeah.
He's 7'1". Out of Iceland, and man, he's got a lot of potential, and you can even see it. He's got a nice stroke, and why the staff was so excited to get him. He was a nice recruit late in the process, and so I'm not making a bold proclamation about what he's going to do this year, but on a day like today, you're kind of looking for little kernels, and I think that's one is like that looks nice.
Just off the hoof, it seems like a team that's not going to be shy about shooting it from distance either.
No. I mean, this is the thing they're most excited about is that they are going to put a lot of times at least four guys, but a lot of times five guys who can stress the defense and shoot behind the arc. And that was obviously something other teams didn't have to worry about a year ago. Nebraska, I think there was like an 8 or 9% difference, Hoiberg once said, in wide open three-pointers that the other teams made compared to Nebraska. So they've got to make up that ground. They hit 2 less threes per game last year than the year before, and so you'd like to see that come back. And I think they've got the guys to do it. To me, it's the question, can you mix that with the toughness it's going to require in the Big Ten?
They're going to ask just a ton of Rink Mast this year.
Yes. I mean, he's that facilitator. He's also like really good on like pick and roll defense and stuff we don't think as much about, and that I think they were really missing a year ago. I mean, that team makes a tournament with Rink Mast. There's no doubt in my mind. And so the question is just like, can he get back basically to the same speed he was? Because let's not forget, the coaches in this league voted him third team All Big Ten. And they did that because they knew how tough he was to game plan for and how he made everything else around him better. And it's going to open up back cuts and stuff like that when you've got a big man drawing the other big out from the basket. He can feed guys going to the hoop. So it's a big deal to have him back.
They're 40-some-odd days away from the opener? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, we're getting close. And, of course, there's that exhibition against BYU on October 18th, and that's an awesome game to play because that's another tournament type team, and you kind of see where you're at, and it doesn't count. Of course, if you win it, you'd like it to count. See if you can get that in the rules. But I think that's a nice runway into the season because they're going to have to hit hard. There's some key games early, a trip to Kansas City with a couple of games that are going to matter a lot. Sioux Falls with Oklahoma's on the schedule, obviously Creighton. So this is a team that's got to be. They're figuring out their rotation early, but they've got to have some toughness to them right out of the gate.
Let's pivot over to football. Obviously, bye week for Nebraska, but a lot to do. We heard from Matt Rhule yesterday. Talked over a half hour about kind of what they're working on, things they need to address. If you had like your to-do list, what would be number one for them to get figured out this week going into Michigan State next week?
Yeah. I don't know that you can figure it out like within the practices where you're at, but the offensive line has to have that. First off, like who are your tackles? How are you attacking this out of the bye at left and right tackle? Is it going to still be Gunnar Gatula and Teddy Prohaska? And then they got to get their mojo back. It's maybe more of a mental thing behind the scenes, but that was a tough game for them on Saturday because it was a big platform, and they got schooled a little bit. Yeah. And that's tough on the ego. It was a humbling game, I think, for a front five that talked about winning like the Joe Moore Award before the season and stuff. So your question's a good one, and I don't know how you fix that like within the practices of a bye week, but somehow you got to kind of get that mentality like we've got the guys to execute and give Rhule a time and run the ball better than has been the case, especially in the deep red zone. Let's go do it. Can they kind of snap out of it from what Saturday represented?
Do you see it as like a conversation of on the left side of like, is it just Pritchett or Catula, or do you think there's a world where one of those two guys ends up maybe getting a look on the right side?
That's a good question, because always when Rhule was asked about the tackles in August and stuff, he would always mention, well, we could flip a guy, and Catula's the natural, I think, flip guy. And so you can't count out that. And so that's definitely something to watch. Of course, with Pritchett, the thing has been just sort of the penalties in costly spots, which sounded like it happened in practices, and then it carried over to Arrowhead. And then we saw it again on Saturday on a 3rd and 3. I thought it was a tough call kind of against him, but nonetheless, it went in the books as a penalty. And he's got all this potential, though, and he's had some really good series. And Rhule has said he's practicing better, so I don't discount that he could work his way to be that guy when this is all said and done out of the bye, but we'll see. I mean, maybe they're just going to stand pat and guys just have to play better, because one thing Rhule said is it's about how guys respond at tackle. It's sort of like cornerback, where if you mess up, everybody knows, and you're going to have games like that. And what he's looking for, and this is sort of that mentality thing, how do you answer the bell after that?
Do you think defensively, I mean, he kind of suggested that it was not a drastic overhaul that they're looking at there. Is it just simply execution in your mind that you just have to play assignments better? And like I kind of walked away feeling like, okay, this is a little bit more manageable than over on offense, where you're trying to find who your starting left tackle is, who your backup running back is, and answering those types of questions.
Yeah, and it was a tricky game in a way, wasn't it, Bruntz? Because, I mean, Michigan, you felt like won in the trenches, and like afterward, Biff Poggi's, like he kind of let off like we were controlling them, you know, sort of dominating. And I think you could make that argument, but I also think Nebraska could argue not exactly. There was like 6 plays that really killed that defense, and that's what you're talking about, like the 3 explosives. When you look at them, someone's got to get off a block up front, but there's also guys who miss their run fit in the second level on the long run, the 75-yarder, which long run, someone would say.
All the long runs.
Yeah, safety takes a bad angle, and then that leads to a house call. And so I think on all those plays you saw where if just one guy at one of the levels would have done something a little bit differently, at the very worst it would have been like a 7 or 8 yard play and you live on. So that's what you got to get cleaned up, because of the 3 explosives and the 3 third downs everybody remembers late in the game that Michigan converted, that was 207 yards of offense when you add it up, of 390. I mean, it counts, and it hurts a lot for Nebraska, but I think Rhule's right. It's better to have those fixes you think you can make than feeling like you had a game where they got 6 yards every play and it was just like a drumbeat.
That's true. I mean, the tackling piece of it, and I mean, I don't know that we've probably even talked enough about that long drive in the fourth quarter that really took the air out of the game, but also, I mean, you had 3 chances to get off the field. They also converted a 2nd and 11 on the quarterback run. So, you know, those are the plays you have to make if you're going to win tight games like that.
Yeah, and the tackling has to get better. I mean, you talk about something that you try to work out of the bye. Michigan tackled great in that game. Like when that game was won in the trenches by Michigan by a little bit, it was also won in space when you think about it. They made the plays in space that Nebraska did not. And so that's a big thing for a team that, especially 2 years ago, I think really prided itself on how it could finish off plays defensively and tackle. I thought they took a step back last year, and I think so far this year the jury's still out, but they've got to make some improvements there.
So they'll keep improving this week. We've got coverage from Nebraska basketball's availability today. Kind of looking forward to the season during the bye week here. Some other bye week topics still rolling through. Recruiting updates from Nebraska's big recruiting weekend last weekend. So keep it locked on Husker 247 for all the latest.